Excellence is not an event. It is not a single moment where everything suddenly comes together and defines who you are. Excellence is a lifestyle. It is a way of thinking, a way of acting, and most importantly, a way of showing up every single day. Most people misunderstand excellence. They believe it is about big wins, major achievements, or rare moments of greatness. They think it is something you reach once and then celebrate forever, but that is not the truth. Real excellence is built quietly. It is created in the decisions you make when no one is watching. It is shaped in the habits you repeat daily. It is defined by the standards you refuse to lower. Every day, you are making choices, small choices, seemingly insignificant actions. But those small choices compound over time. They build your identity. They determine your future. They decide whether you move closer to greatness or drift toward mediocrity.
Determined. Excellence is not about what you do once in a while. It is about what you do consistently. Most people think success comes from talent or luck. They look at high achievers and assume they were given some kind of advantage. They believe those people started ahead, had better circumstances, or were simply more gifted. But that belief is a lie. The truth is, the people who achieve lasting success are not the ones who rely on talent alone. They are the ones who have mastered the art of daily excellence. They are the ones who understand that success is not built overnight. It is built through repeated effort, discipline, and commitment. Success is built in the early mornings when you choose to get up instead of hitting snooze. It is built in the late nights when you decide to keep going while others quit. It is built in the moments when you don't feel like working, but you do it anyway. Excellence is not something you chase. It is something you become. And here is what most people fail to realize. Excellence is not about perfection. It is about consistency. You don't have to get everything right. You don't have to be flawless. You just have to show up and give your best effort every single day. It is about holding yourself to a standard that does not change based on your mood, your environment, or your circumstances. When you commit to daily excellence, something powerful happens. You stop chasing success, and success starts coming to you. You stop relying on motivation, and you begin operating from discipline. You stop waiting for the perfect moment, and you start creating momentum through action. So the real question is, how do you build that level of excellence? How do you train your mind, your habits, and your systems to operate at a higher level automatically? It begins with mastering your mornings. The way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. If your morning begins with discipline, focus, and purpose, those qualities carry into the rest of your day. But if your morning starts with chaos, distraction, and delay, that energy follows you as well. Most people wake up and immediately react to the world. They check their phones, scroll through social media, rush through their routine, and start their day already behind. That is not excellence. That is reaction. Excellence begins when you take control. Winning the morning is not just about waking up early. It is about waking up with intention. The highest performers in the world do not leave their mornings to chance. They design them. They take time to align their mindset. They focus their thoughts. They prepare their body and energy for the day ahead. Some write, some reflect, some train physically, some sit in silence. But they all have one thing in common. They take control of their first moments. Because if you can win the morning, you can win the day. One of the simplest yet most powerful habits is this. Get up immediately when your alarm goes off. The moment you hit snooze, you are training your mind to delay. You are reinforcing procrastination. You are breaking a commitment to yourself before your day even begins. But when you get up instantly, no hesitation, no debate, you build the habit of execution, and that habit carries into everything else you do. The next level of excellence comes from controlling your focus. Your attention is your most valuable resource. Wherever your focus goes, your energy follows, and whatever you focus on expands. If you focus on distractions, your time disappears. If you focus on problems, your stress increases. But if you focus on growth, execution, and progress, your life moves forward. Most people never train their focus. They allow their attention to be pulled in every direction. Notifications, messages, interruptions, noise. By the end of the day, they feel exhausted but unproductive. Excellence requires discipline over your attention. You must decide what deserves your focus and what does not. The most successful individuals are not necessarily smarter. They are simply more focused. They eliminate distractions. They protect their time. They lock in on what matters and ignore everything else. They create space for deep work. They commit to single tasking. They stay present with what they are doing. Because real progress happens when you give something your full attention. Another key pillar of excellence is self-discipline. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. Some days you feel inspired, other days you don't. If you rely on motivation, your results will always be inconsistent. But discipline is different. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It is showing up on the days when it's hard. It is pushing forward when you feel resistance. It is keeping your word to yourself, no matter what. Every time you follow through, you strengthen your discipline. Every time you make excuses, you weaken it. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. The secret is to remove negotiation. Most people fail because they allow themselves to debate. Should I do it now or later? Should I push or take it easy? That internal conversation drains energy. It opens the door for excuses. High performers don't negotiate. They decide once, and then they act. Consistency is the next level. It is not about doing something intensely for a short time. It is about doing something repeatedly over a long period. Anyone can start strong. Very few can stay consistent. Consistency means showing up even when you don't see results. It means continuing even when progress feels slow. It means staying committed when excitement fades. Because success does not happen instantly. It compounds over time. Small actions, repeated daily, create massive outcomes. And the key to consistency is systems. When you rely on willpower, you will eventually fail. But when you build systems, success becomes automatic. Set a routine, create structure, remove friction, make it easier to take action than to avoid it. Another powerful principle is setting high standards. Your life reflects what you tolerate. If you accept average effort, you will get average results. If you demand excellence from yourself, your life will rise to meet that standard. Most people lower their standards to match their environment. They adapt to mediocrity. But excellence is about setting your own standard and refusing to compromise it. It is about holding yourself accountable, even when no one else is watching. It is about choosing discipline when others choose comfort, choosing focus when others choose distraction, choosing effort when others choose excuses. Your standards define your identity. And finally, excellence requires action. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Most people hesitate. They overthink. They wait for the perfect moment, but the perfect moment does not exist. Progress belongs to those who act. The faster you take action, the faster you learn. The faster you learn, the faster you grow. Hesitation kills momentum. Action creates it. Train yourself to move immediately. When you know what needs to be done, do it. Because excellence is not built in thinking. It is built in doing. At the end of the day, excellence is a choice. A choice you make every morning. A choice you make in every decision. A choice you make in how you show up. You are either building habits of greatness or reinforcing patterns of mediocrity. There is no in-between. So the question is simple. Will you choose excellence? Not once, not occasionally, but every single day? Because the moment you do, everything changes. And when everything changes, it doesn't happen all at once. It happens quietly. It happens in the way you start thinking. It happens in the way you respond to challenges. It happens in the way you carry yourself when things don't go your way. Because once you commit to excellence, you stop being controlled by circumstances, and you start controlling your actions regardless of circumstances. That is the shift. You no longer ask, "Do I feel like doing this?" You ask, "What does excellence require of me right now?" And then you execute. That mindset alone separates you from the majority. Because most people live based on emotion. They act when they feel motivated. They stop when things get uncomfortable. But you operate on a different level. You understand that growth lives on the other side of discomfort. You understand that pressure is not something to avoid. It's something to use. You understand that resistance is not a sign to stop. It's a signal to push. And that's where real transformation begins. Because the moment you stop avoiding hard things, you start becoming someone who can handle hard things. And once you become that person, your entire life expands. Opportunities increase. Confidence grows. Results follow. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. This is where mental toughness becomes your greatest asset. Life will test you. That's guaranteed. There will be days when things don't go your way. days when you feel tired, days when nothing seems to be working. And in those moments, most people break, they quit, they step back, they lower their standards. But not you, because you've trained yourself differently. You've built the habit of showing up no matter what. You've developed the ability to keep going when others stop. You've conditioned your mind to push through resistance instead of running from it. That is power. And the more you do it, the stronger you become. Every challenge you face becomes a tool. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity. Every failure becomes feedback. Nothing is wasted. That's the mindset of someone who is committed to excellence. And here's the truth most people never fully accept. You don't become great by accident. You become great by design, through repetition, through discipline, through standards that don't bend, through decisions made daily, consistently, relentlessly. So if you want to take this to the next level, you have to start asking yourself better questions. Not what's easy, but what's necessary. Not what do I feel like doing, but what will move me forward. Not can I skip this today, but who do I become if I don't? Because every action is shaping your identity. Every decision is casting a vote for the person you are becoming. You are either reinforcing discipline or reinforcing excuses. You are either building momentum or breaking it. And over time, those votes define your life. So make them count. Make the choice to show up when it's inconvenient. Make the choice to push when it's uncomfortable. Make the choice to stay consistent when it's boring, because that's where the real results come from. Not in the highlights, but in the habits. Not in the big moments, but in the daily execution. That's the truth about excellence. It's not loud, it's not flashy, it's not always exciting, but it is powerful because it compounds. Day after day, week after week, year after year, until one day, everything you've been working for starts to show, and people will look at you and call it success. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't one moment, it wasn't luck, it wasn't talent alone. It was the thousands of small decisions, the discipline, the consistency, the refusal to quit. That built who you became. So from this point forward, raise your standard. Decide who you are. Decide how you operate. Decide what you tolerate and what you don't, and then live it every single day. Because excellence is not something you turn on and off. It's who you are. It's how you think. It's how you act. It's how you live. And once you fully commit to it, there is no going back. So again, the question stands, will you choose excellence every single day?